Hi, this is Jonathan. How you guys doing? I've always been interested in amp simulations, and ever since I had my first pod from Line 6, and I always kept an eye out for the newest development. On a recent trip to City Music, which is a music store in Singapore, I chanced upon this cute little thing that sits on the tabletop. The guys in City Music told me that this is actually an amp, and I was pretty intrigued about this. This runs on a technology called NuTube, N-U-T-U-B-E, developed by a Japanese company called Noritake. And apparently this is like less than 30% size of a normal tube, and it functions the same as a vacuum tube. The thing looks like a oversized IC chip, but it's pretty interesting how the Japanese developed this to function exactly like how a tube works. Well, because of its size, the possibilities are endless. You can fit in a tube into any concoction or any chassis. So in this case, it fit into this. This is the VoX MV50 high gain, and of course this simulates the how a Marshall amp would sound like. when I played on this, I was pretty blown away by how it responds, how it sounds. This responds like a real amp. And given the fact that it has two output capabilities, like you can hook it up to a cab, you know, depending on what cabs you have, you know, this can drive a real big cab, like, you know, a 212 or, you know, 412s, you know. And you also can run, like, you know, a single 12, you know, cabinet. And of course you have the headphone and line out, which the line out simulates, you know, how a speaker cab would sound like. And this is really good when you're like working with doors and, you know, audio interfaces and stuff like that. But the fact remains that it's real simple. There's only 3 control. You know, there's this gain, tone, and volume, and a simplistic EQ switch, which I will explain later on. You know, and yeah, that's how it is. Playing through it, you know, I have experienced the same response as how I would play through an amp. And because of its gain structure, you know, you can get pretty nice overtones. So on the front panel, you can see that it's really simplistic, a very simplistic front panel. One you can see, okay, from the left you have the gain, and then you have the tone in the middle, and of course the volume on the right. And you have a input jack and a little cute little retro looking VU meter. And then here it states new tube. You know, obviously there is it's not a real tube, it's the newest technology. You can actually Google it, and we'll talk about this later on. You know, it's more like a chipset, you know. Then from the back you have the speaker output, where you can actually connect this to your cabinets, and this is where the impedance comes in. You know, you have 4 ohms, 8 and 16. And of course this coincide with your power output. 4 ohms will equal to 50 watts, 8 ohms 25 watts, 16 ohms to 12.5 watts. Then you have the EQ, which is relatively a switch where you have the flat, where everything is flat, and then when you have a deep, you kind of like scoop a little bit in the middle, so that you can have a bigger sound, you know, a deeper sound, yeah, with a little bit more bass emphasis. Then you have the power in, it's a 19 volt power supply with the unit. Then you have the standby and on switch, just like a real amp. And then you have the eco, which is the economy, which basically this is like an auto power switch. You know, when the unit is not being used for a certain amount of time, the unit will just turn off by itself. You can of course turn it off, and then the unit will be on all the time. And then you have the phone line. But this has dual purposes. One is where you connect this to a headphone, and the other is you connect to your door or to your audio interface, and it will have a speaker emulator or simulator, and it's pretty neat. I find that it sounded pretty good. Unfortunately for this time round, I didn't have a chance to test it out with a real cab, but no worries, I will have a chance to try this out with a real cab and mic it out and see. But I can tell that the output is really loud. It's really loud, you know. So there you have it. This is the how it looks like. So I'm pretty impressed with this technology called YouTube, and I guess I won't be seeing the last of this. Well, apparently VoX comes out a whole series of this. You have the Boutique, the Clean M, and various others. And I'm just hoping that I'll be able to get a chance to try this out. Well, unfortunately for this video, I won't be able to try it out on the real cab, which I think I will probably do another video when I get my hands on the real cab. So I hope you enjoyed this little video about this cute little unit. And I think it's useful for guys who are like, you know, who wants to have a amp but couldn't afford the space. You know how big a JCM 800 is, and I couldn't possibly have it in my room, in my small little room. So this gives you the possibility of having different cabs, you know, and or having different heads, amp heads, and running through a single cab, and you have the option to mic it out or line out, you know. So pretty interesting, yeah. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, feel free to go ahead and press that bell if you want to be notified of new videos that comes out. So till the next video, I'll see you guys again. Alright, so arrivederci, take care, ciao.